Alright, so I've had a couple requests from various people asking how I build my roads. It's actually pretty simple, what I use, and it's changed over the years, but what I've kind of settled on, what I've been using lately, is 40,000 styrene. I buy the super large sheets of it. It's pretty cheap, about $4 or $5. I think it's a pack of 2 or 3, and they come in almost 2 foot length. I just used a regular a knife, straight edge, mark it, cut it. You can see this is part of my scene for my road that's going to come across for the crossing, and then the road's going to continue. I've had varying success with gluing the styrene down to the actual wood itself. My other scenes, I'm constantly getting warping because the wood expands and contracts. The styrene does at a different rate. Pops up. I've tried every single glue there is. I've used spray adhesive. I've used silicone caulking. I've used white glue. Used about everything. The best success so far I've been having is, I don't know if you can see it here on this camera, but I've been building these tabs and then just drilling it with a larger size hole and then just nailing it down so that the styrene's actually floating. So as it expands and contracts, it's not going to warp, because especially on these bigger scenes like I have over here, it's really going to be noticeable. If you get a big bubble in here, I mean, it pretty much ruins what you're working on. So, and then the way to join them is I just been putting these, and this is like 10,000 styrene tabs underneath, and then you can just use the testers, and you can buy this, or this is actually a MEK, which you can buy at Home Depot, you know, large, like quart size, for a couple bucks, and then just put it into smaller jars. It's same stuff. So once you cut your roadway to how you want it, what I usually do is use these foam sanding blocks. I like to just scuff it up. So you can see the surface. I don't know if you can get the glare on it, but you just want to, I think it's a 120 grit. Helps remove any of the stuff on the surface, roughens it up. That and the paint will stick a little better to it. Just take all your pieces. For my black roads, you can use pretty much anything. I just bought some of this. It's the tester spray enamel. It's the black paint. You can pretty much use anything. You can go to Home Depot, buy a big can of flat black. I was just at the hobby shop. They had this there. I bought it. Otherwise, I would just use the Home Depot stuff. Anything pretty much will work. You just want a flat black. That's the main one that you're looking for. So obviously when you go to paint, I use just scrap wood. What you want to do is figure out what surface you need to paint. And then this is how I do pretty much all my painting, is you can use this regular tape, fold it over on itself, tape it down. Now you've got a parts holder, so whatever you're painting doesn't blow away. I use this for painting models, pretty much anything. It works really well. Obviously you want to use this well ventilated. I have my garage door open. Get the fumes out. Painting anything, obviously you want to do light coats, let it dry a little bit, and then come back and then finish it up with the further coats. Especially painting roads, you want to make sure all your edges are painted. They're going to be visible. Good coat of paint, and let this dry, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the striping of the roads. Alright, so the pieces are painted. I've glued them to the other strip there, see they're attached. Glued the center section down, and then this section is just free floating for now until it can be joined to the further section. Made sure that the centerpiece doesn't collide with anything, rolls right through, no issues. It's a major thing because I've had these before where it will derail anytime a car goes through. So what I use for my my striping is, I think there's Scale Scenics. See if there's a, oh, I'm sorry, Builders and Scale. The white one is a part 570, and there's also yellow ones, and it's 570 yellow, and they're the 1/2-inch highway stripes. So these are paper based. The one thing when you do use these, make sure that you've done everything that you need to do. If you're trying to put like a wash or something else on it, these are going to get wet and they tend to fall apart. Once you get them to stick, they will actually stick pretty well. You may have to go back a couple times and kind of put them back down, but once you get that done, they stay down pretty well, and they look really well, especially for the little effort it takes. So basically, they're pre-cut. Just take it off. I like using tweezers for this. It's a lot easier to manage. Just want to join it up to the other edge. They usually allow you to reposition them a couple times. So I may have gotten a gap there. If you overlap them, it's fine, because you can just go back and cut on top of both of them and it'll come out. Main thing is getting them straight. Even after you press them down, you can still go back and reposition them. But once they're down for about a week or so, they tend to stay down and then may cause problems when you try and pull them back up. It's not that big of a deal. You can go back and scrape them off if you had to. The main thing when working with these, and pretty much anything, is make sure you have a nice, sharp knife to make your cuts, because then your cuts come out really clean. You just pretty much do the same for the yellow. Getting the yellow seems to be more difficult just because you're doing a double yellow. Just a little trickier just because nothing like having the camera fall on you. These yellow ones are a little older, so sometimes they don't want to stick. Not a big deal. I think that one doesn't want to work. Alright, so here's the finished product. Just finished doing the striping on both sides. Down here, I glued this section down. I added a thicker band. I got to make the railroad crossing sign there, the buck marks. So just the other portions is the sidewalks. I just use Walther's sidewalk kits. My preferred color is undercoat light gray. Works out pretty good. That's what all this was painted with. And then once you get it down, if you just put a wash, like an Indian ink wash over the sidewalk, it fills in all the cracks and looks real good. I just did a wash here a couple minutes ago. So that's pretty much how I do it. Some of the other lines I'll actually paint on. Like that is actually painted. This was just masked off, and then this was a stencil that I got. So hopefully it answers some questions as far as how I build my roads. They're pretty simple once you start doing them. They go pretty quick and they come out pretty clean. The main thing is just take your time, obviously, and these the two blacks will actually kind of weather together, and they'll blend a little better. Probably glue that down here. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask them.